Today's passage from St. Luke's Gospel was just a small sample of what we call apocalyptic literature. Apocalyptic literature is a genre in writing. And apocalyptic literature can be summarized thus. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. You get it? That's the message of apocalyptic literature. The sky is falling. The end is near. Run for your life. Well, not true. Actually, many writers have and still use this genre of apocalyptic literature to convey a good and happy message. Those who use apocalyptic style employ symbols, beasts, dragons, demons, stars falling down, all to convey one message. All shall be well in the end. All shall be well in the end. Even though there is lots of fearful events in the process, at the end of each apocalyptic writing, good will triumph and evil will be conquered. In the Bible, several writers use this style. Daniel in Old Testament was famous for using apocalyptic literature. In the New Testament, of course, the book of Revelation of St. John is full of dragons, falling stars, earthquakes, lambs, thrones, and so on. And both these writers make sure that in the end, we've got a happy end. I don't know if you are a Tolkien nerd like myself, but Tolkien was also using this very style of writing. You know, there are demons, monsters, fires, magicians, so on. If you read those 3 thick volumes of The Lord of the Rings, and if you survive 3 volumes, you will know that in the end, all shall be well. The ring of power is destroyed. Frodo is happy. Everything is fine. Of course, you have to go to 2,000 pages to get there, 2,000 scary pages to get there. But in the end, all shall be well. Jesus today, in Luke's Gospel, is using a similar language. He is talking about all the tribulations, the trials that we have to pass through. But in the end, Jesus says, stand erect, raise up your heads. Stand erect, raise your heads. For no matter what is happening around you, in the end, all shall be well. Just a few days ago, we celebrated Thanksgiving. This essential American tradition reminds us of people who decided to live their lives standing erect. The Pilgrims left Europe and England because they could not live free. They could not live true to themselves. They were persecuted for their beliefs. So they had the choice: live in hiding or come here and live free. And they chose to live free. They chose to stand erect, no matter what. Every time we celebrate Thanksgiving, we celebrate the courage of people who chose to do what is right and who chose to do it while standing erect. while holding high their heads, no matter the price. 12 years ago, when our beloved Archbishop Berg told 2 priests to vacate this church, you found yourself in the end of the world, so to speak. No priests, no sacraments, no masses. And you had the choice too, to live in fear, to live in persecution, or to stand erect and to do what is right. After several months, you had a vote, and over 90% of you authorized the board of directors to find another priest, with or without bishop's permission. Now, it doesn't take PhD in canon law to know that what you were doing was a bad Catholic. Really bad Catholic. But you chose to stand erect. You chose to hold your head high because you believed this is the right thing to do. And that's how you got me 10 years ago, because you made a choice to live free of fear. You chose not to be intimidated. You chose to live out your courage and your Polish stubbornness. Now today, when you turn on your TV or radio or check your news on the websites, you will find lots of scary news, lots of reports of terrorism, of shootings, of disease, and you could say the sky is falling. This world is coming to an end. There are terrorists blowing up themselves in Paris, in Libya, in Nigeria. There are people shooting each other on the streets of our cities every day. We could live in fear. We have every excuse and every reason to live in fear these days. We could be intimidated and say, I better stay home, lock myself in, and be safe. Ever since 9/11, we have been going through a very public conversation about the price of safety and security. How many liberties, how many freedoms are we willing to give up to feel safe, to feel secure? And this is a very important question that we have to ask ourselves. What am I willing to give up to have a sense of security and safety? Am I willing to live with my head buried in the sand, locked in my castle, just to feel safe? Or am I willing to stand erect and hold my head high? Because that's what we Americans do. That's what we Christians are called to do. Someone counted how many times does the Bible say, do not be afraid or fear not. There are 365 passages in the Bible that say, fear not, don't be afraid. One per each day. Every day of our life, God tells you, stand erect. Fear not. Do not be afraid. No matter what. Even if the world is ending, the sky is falling, stand erect. Hold high your head. Hold strong to your convictions. In 1920, during Mexican Revolution, one of the campesino leaders, Emiliano Zapata, coined a saying that has been repeated ever since. He said, "I prefer to die standing than to live on my knees." I prefer to die standing up, standing and holding my head up, than to live on my knees. My friends, we should be on our knees only in front of God. Otherwise, we are called to stand erect and hold high our heads. Believe with me that it is better to die standing than to live kneeling. Amen.